0-0.
You know you're right.
Brian, can you lead us in the pledge, sir?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Having a moment of silence for the men and women in the armed forces, our first responders, those fighting the good fight in Ukraine, those suffering from the military conflict in the Middle East and worldwide. Thank you. All right. Diane, do we have anybody for public comment?
We do, we have two.
Okay, before we do that, Diane, Walter, would you like to
Call the
Open
Board
up.
of Finance back into session.
second?
Approved.
Ready? Okay, town council, thank you. All right, okay. All right, Diane.
Thank you. Michelle Ligori. Please state your name and your address. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Michelle Ligori. I live at 2 Tramita Court here in Milford. I am an elder law attorney in town, and I'm also a member of the Commission on Aging, and I'm here tonight on behalf of the Commission. So I'd like to thank everyone here for your time. There was a letter that we sent regarding the social services budget and moving 2 of the municipal agents from the senior center budget over to social services. The Commission on Aging has some strong concerns about that, and we sent a letter voicing our concerns to the mayor and town council, but I also wanted to address the Board of Finance, who's here tonight, as well as anybody else who's in the audience or watching from home. So our letter, as I'm going to read it into the record, states, we are writing to formally express our strong opposition to the proposed relocation of municipal agent supervision from the New Milford Senior Center to another town department. The Commission firmly believes that supervision of the municipal agents must remain within the senior center, where the role has long been rooted and where it can function most effectively on behalf of older residents. The municipal agent position exists to advocate for, protect, and assist residents aged 60 and older who are often navigating complex and interrelated issues involving aging, health, housing, benefits, transportation, and independence. Effective supervision of this role requires specialized knowledge of aging services and understanding and prioritization of the distinct and evolving needs of older adults, and daily connection to senior-focused programs. The Senior Center provides this environment and has done so successfully for decades. Supervision should remain in the same building to allow for consistent daily interaction with the community members they serve, as regular contact with our senior population is essential to effectively meeting their needs. Connecticut General Statute, Section 7-127B, establishes the municipal agent role within a senior services framework, defining municipal agents as a staff member of a senior center, a member of an agency that serves elderly persons in the municipality, or a responsible resident of the municipality who has demonstrated an interest in the elderly or has been involved in programs in the field of aging. This statutory structure reflects clear legislative intent that municipal agents operate in a setting where advocacy for older adults is the primary mission. The Senior Center has been and continues to be uniquely positioned to support this intent. The proposed change is also in direct contradiction of the statute, as the mission of social services is to serve those 59 years and younger with a clear referral structure to the Senior Center for support for those 60 plus. Under Senior Center supervision, municipal agents function as a part of an integrated team that supports seniors as whole individuals rather than through a single service lens. This coordinated approach enables timely referrals, collaborative problem solving, and comprehensive support, directly enhancing seniors' quality of life, results that are significantly diminished when the role is removed from the senior center setting. Additionally, seniors are far more likely to seek assistance in a space designed specifically for them, one that is familiar, welcoming, and trusted. The Senior Center has long served as that safe and accessible point of entry, reducing barriers and encouraging engagement. Relocating supervision risks fragmenting services, weakening advocacy, and diminishing seniors' comfort and access to support. The Commission also recognizes the critical importance of experienced leadership within the Senior Center. The current director's 14 years in senior services and whose expertise and dedication have been instrumental in building the center into the trusted and effective resource it is today are invaluable. The director's institutional knowledge and established relationships with the senior community are essential to providing informed and effective supervision of the municipal agents. This continuity of leadership directly benefits the seniors served and strengthens outcomes. This integrated structure cannot be replicated within a department with a broader mission. For these reasons, the Commission on Aging strongly urges that supervision of the municipal agents remain within the New Milford Senior Center with its director. This structure best protects the interests of older adults, preserves effective service delivery, and ensures that senior needs clearly remain prioritized within town government. This change also raises concerns about support staff for the municipal agents. If these positions are moved under social services, the municipal agents would lose administrative assistance while in closed, confidential meetings with the seniors they serve. That support currently includes answering phones, scheduling appointments, triaging urgent needs, and arranging transportation. If the expectation is that calls are always answered promptly, additional full-time staff will be required and should be reflected in the town budget. Expecting municipal agents to leave sensitive meetings to manage routine administrative tasks is inefficient and diminishes the quality of service to seniors. The Commission on Aging is further concerned that this proposed change in municipal agent supervision was not brought to the Commission for review.
Excuse me, Michelle, you have got about 30 seconds left.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
The Commission on Aging is further concerned that this proposed change in municipal agent supervision was not brought to the Commission for review or input prior to consideration. As the town's appointed and state-mandated advisory board on matters affecting older adults, the Commission has a statutory responsibility to advise municipal leadership on policies, programs, and structural decisions that impact senior services. In line with common practices in municipal government and aging services, early consultation with advisory commissions helps ensure that decisions affecting seniors are well-informed, transparent, and reflective of the community's needs. Please also note that the Connecticut Department of Aging and Disability Services and Western Connecticut Area Agency on Aging have been notified of your intent to implement this change, which would significantly disrupt the well-established and sensitive system that supports our aging community. As you are aware, the Western Connecticut Area Agency on Aging currently provides funding to the town of New Milford for senior transportation and meals. We appreciate—
Have to wrap it up. Thank you.
We appreciate your consideration and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, next we have Gretchen Oshie Reynolds.
I actually was going to contribute my time to Michelle, but she did it.
Okay.
So,
Diane, there's 3 minutes per person in this setting.
Right, okay.
Up to
So did
15
you want to
minutes, yeah.
continue or
So
did you
that's
wrap it
okay.
up?
She got it.
I was at the end, but if I needed more time, I'll recommend.
Okay, so just yes or no. Do you want to go up
Oh, no.
to her? I'm not talking to Michelle. So you're okay, both of you? All right, fine, thank you.
All right.
That it?
And I'll address the move when we get to social services. Okay.
Okay.
Next, we're going to do the town clerk.
Page 102.
All right, Caitlin, thank you. We're going to start with revenues, or we'll let
Oh, yeah.
Caitlin do her presentation, and then we'll move on to revenues and expenditures.
Okay.
So Caitlin, thank you.
Sorry. All right, good evening. I'm Caitlin Patterson, Town Clerk. As many of you know, the Town Clerk's office performs a variety of functions. We are often called the record keepers of the town. We record every home purchase, every marriage, birth, and death record, every election result, and every dog license. We have records dating back to the early 1700s that we are charged with maintaining and preserving. We also work very closely with our registrar of voters to administer elections and issue absentee ballots. So that's just to name some of our functions. So we'll start with our, our revenues. This year we expect our revenues to be a little bit higher due mostly to increased property sale prices, which we collect the conveyance tax of those, and land record fees, which there was a slight increase that took effect July 1st. So you'll see our historic documents, $13,000. That comes from $2 for every document we record and a $7,000 state grant. Then the local capital improvement fund, I believe it's 7,000 in the budget, right? I'm sorry, my presentation's a little off.
Is 7 or 7? Which
It's
one?
7,000.
7's right. Okay.
Yeah.
It's 75.
Oh, it is 75.
Yeah,
okay.
that's okay.
Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah,
You're right.
you're looking at 20.
All right.
I was sorry, Caitlin.
Okay, and so then the revenue from municipal clerk fees, that increased a little bit, like I said, to $700,000 this year. That's composed of recordings, conveyance tax, license fees, copies, etc. So total revenue is $720,500. Then our expenditures, we have our personnel.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Carrie. Any questions on the revenues? Okay. Caitlin, thank you.
All right.
Page 102.
Now we're going to go to 102 for our books.
So for our personnel, we're at $206,827. That's 3 of us. Currently, we're just 2 of us, the town clerk and deputy, but we hope to have a new team member soon. Town clerk overtime, $200. That's usually used during dog licensing season. It's our busy time. Contractual services, $1,295. That's for general code to maintain our ordinances. It was a little higher last year because we had a bunch of ordinances to be printed. And then historic document preservation, again, our state grant, that's $7,000. And then materials and supplies, that's things like indexing, our land records, microfilming, supplies, that's all mandated by state statute. Our map printer supplies, general supplies, publishing of legal notices, so that's $40,600. Total expenditures $255,922. So
You can see they came in a little bit under last year's expenditures, so thank
Yep,
you for
that
that,
was-
Caitlin. And then you can also see their what we call profit, or more revenue than expenditure. As you can see, she put up there is about 400.
yep, $464,578.
Any
So-
questions for Kate? Great job
No.
to you and the staff.
Thank you.
Excellent job.
Thank you all for your support.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Caitlin.
Okay. Next is Jason and the Youth Agency.
Oh, we have several pages for that. You
Jason?
want to do the revenue first?
We'll start with, we'll let Jason do his presentation, and we'll go revenues and then expenditures.
All right.
And Jason will also be talking about before and after care as well, which is, I believe, Jason, and I could be non-correct, but I believe that is the largest employer of our youth, teens, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I'll get into it, but we
Yep.
employ about 89 part-time staff through that program.
Awesome.
Good.
Good evening, everyone. Town Council, Board of Finance. Thank you, Mayor. So the mayor alluded to it, but the youth agency is not just the youth agency. We're actually 3 different organizations. So with that, we're structured across those 3 organizations to help with the transparency. So I know there are some new members who haven't seen the youth agency's budget presentation, so I will go into a little bit detail on how that looks. So the 900 org, that is the town's youth services. That's the investment in prevention, youth stability, mental health, diversion, leadership, and then the community engagement. And that includes the required administration, supervision, and the oversight of our Youth Service Bureau per state statute. The 901 organization, that is our teen center and the Max Rental Hall. And that's a self-sustaining teen and community center.
Rentals, events, and the program activity generate revenue that exceeds its operational costs. And then lastly is the 902 organization. That's high volume fee for service, and that is our childcare, which is the before and after school childcare program, as well as the summer care and summer camp program. The gross revenue that you will see there and the expense figures are large because they include the parent tuition revenue and all the direct staffing needed for that program. So with that, I put on some of our core programs here that these three organizations under the youth agency provide. So some of our core programs you may have seen in the community include My Safe Place, Nature Unplugged, All Pro Dads, Buddy Up, Student Advisory Board, Girl Power, after school enrichment, including our culinary and robotics opportunities, and Parents Night Out events. We offer counseling at no cost, Youth Diversion Team, which is our court diversionary program for youth going through the criminal justice system, formerly known as the Juvenile Review Board. In childcare, like I mentioned, we have a before and after school care program, summer care, and then a PK club for 3 and 4s at John Pettibone. We offer no cost services, including our workshops, and those can include our monthly college series, developmental programs that help understand teen and cannabis and the effects on their brain, internet safety, AI, as well as neurodivergent learning opportunities, including bringing in DDS, Department of Developmental Services, to help work with our families. So expanding on these programs, I talked about mental health and family support. So what does that look like? So within the youth agency, those are no-cost clinical counseling and support groups. Both are youth and caregivers, and that can look at either individual counseling at the youth agency, going into schools for doing lunch bunch, or our Friday parent support group, Mug and a Hug. We do crisis response coordination when there is, unfortunately, incidents in town that involve teens and families, and we coordinate with our community providers for that. And then family advocacy when, the youth agency may need assistance in referring those youth to either resources in the community or outside. Youth diversion, that is Youth Diversion Team, formerly known as the Juvenile Review Board. The best practices came out from Connecticut Youth Services Association this summer, and our team has worked hard to implement all those best practices and working with our colleagues at the New Milford Police Department and New Milford Public Schools, who are our main providers of those referrals. Enrichment, career, readiness, and skill building. That's affordable culinary after school programming down at the Max, and that helps broaden access for all of our youth here. And we also do STEM entrepreneurship, scholarships looking to maintain that inclusion for our asset limited families, including robotics and coding, and also our Girls Who Code class, which is taught by high school volunteers. Childcare and summer programming. So that's 4 sites. It's before and after school at those 4 individual schools. And then it transitions into the summer care program. And that is a 9-week program, 7 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. at night. There's 2 groups. One group's traveling every other day. And those childcare programs are made for the working family and to keep the care in continuum all year. And then advocacy, youth leadership, and civic opportunities, what we have. And that's primarily, we have a cohort of students who are leaders called the Student Advisory Board. They let the agency, the board of directors, and our staff know essentially the good, the bad, and ugly of what it's like to be a teen here and what's contemporary for youth opinion. And then there's another about 40 to 50 students, volunteers that we look to get involved into the community, different civic opportunities here. So I know that was a lot, and this is some other just general programs we do. And then I just provided just an added glance of just some stats and some data. Over 1,400 residents were served. 66, I put JRB, but YDT referrals with a 90% completion. 280 hours of no-cost clinical counseling. You can see our childcare numbers. Primarily, we're able to offset $18,975 in scholarship secured for these. And thank you to our friends at Social Services who help out with the means testing. Mayor Pete mentioned it, but 89 seasonal part-time jobs created, primarily including teen employment and workforce. So we are one of the, if not largest, employers of teens. And with that, we work with the Northwestern Regional Investment Board to hire students. You know, they could be income qualified. They could be going through DCF custody within the state. They could have an IEP, free reduced lunch, and we look to get them first-time job experience. So the return on investment for New Milford residents within our 3 organizations: diversion prevents court involvement, counseling addresses problems early, childcare supports our workforce, and then youth leadership builds our community assets. So with that, Mayor, between the 3 organizations, would you want to start with expenses or revenue?
I think we'll start with revenue, but Jason, first I'd like to commend you for your thinking outside of the box. And some of the things that I'd like to just highlight that maybe the board
Sure.
doesn't know is, first, really looking at growing the youth agency in different ways. One, now you've become even more of a regional focused. And what I mean, not on the citizenry, but on the leadership. You actually work with Newtown on a tremendous amount of things that benefit our youth.
Correct.
Which, you know, the way you've redone the JRB to help those that maybe have made some poor choices, but you've brought in new staff and those that have retired, rebuilt that program.
Sure.
And kind of created that leadership model in that area. Also, I love the fact that you've empowered our youth, starting with the advisory group that comes here to the town council. You thought outside the box in so doing that. And as you'll see with the max, you and I sat down when I first became mayor, and we said, how can we look at things differently to make that more cost effective rather than being someone that is a drag on the revenues?
Sure.
So we recalibrated the whole thing, made it more of where people come and rent that space.
Yep.
And now it becomes more of a cash flow positive. So thinking outside of that. And for those that didn't know, when we were going through COVID, right? Jason and his team, right, were front line and center, especially with the kids. I know I sat on the calls with you as we talked with the both the social service teams at the schools, trying to figure out ways how we can help. And through that, you developed, which sits here now, a free mental health clinic that we have housed within the youth agency. So those are just some of the things that forward thinking that you did, that maybe people that thought that, you know, we just always do it this way. You know, well, we always do it this way. So we always do it this way. That's how it's going to be. I love the fact that you thought different and thinking differently. Exponentially, look how much you've grown that department. So big kudos to you.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely.
Big kudos to, I apologize, I will have to make it up to them, but my 11 full-time staff, and then all the part-time employees. They're amazing, they're incredible, and they're the ones doing the direct service. And Mayor, you are correct in the regional kind of expertise in growing. Aside from myself, I sit as a vice president for Connecticut Youth Services Association, and that's the statewide advocacy group for youth service bureaus. But also Maria Leo has become an example of kind of the work in the community for neurodivergent youth, teen advocacy, and I'm very proud of everyone.
Leaders there for sure. So let's start with the revenues.
The revenue is in this account, there's one revenue, and it's the source from the DCF state grant, and it went up $200 roughly.
Thank you. Any questions on the revenues? Okay, let's move on to the expenditures.
For expenditures for the, okay.
Yep.
We have personnel that went up with the 2.5%. And then we actually had some cost savings between the minor fixed charges, materials, and supplies. And then the part self-sustaining youth grant, why that actually doesn't match the revenue, there's a mandatory town match. And there's 3 parts to that grant. So there's a main grant, an enhancement, and a supplemental. So the town matches the main grant. And so that breaks down to $20,001 is the main grant. The enhancement is $9,425.06. The state still deals in cents. And then $10,045.48. So that's what that part self-sustaining youth grant is. And what that looks like for the town, That is about 22,000 in direct service, 2,600 in admin, and then 34,000 in wages and salaries, including a lot of our part-time employees and students, and then the clinical consultation for the no-cost counseling services.
Any questions so far for Jason?
So the Max, it's another organization. I don't have that page for you. It follows right in the book though. The revenue, we're going up to $47,000 because of the revenue streams that we are seeing. There's a current average July to January of $4,093.71. Currently, the max with the actuals is at $29,206. So we are doing, well to be able to hit that margin, and that is going up of a goal of $42,500.
And one of the things, sorry for interrupting you, Jason, that we're going to be trying to really provide the council and the Board of Finance starting in the next fiscal year is what we call in-kind services. So what you may see, there's actual dollars of revenue that is brought in, but also we do in-kind
that, too.
Services. Jason, you may have that?
Yeah, so I did last fiscal year and up to December, but with it being a town building, town departments utilize it, and we're not going to charge the town to utilize the town building. But since July of 2024, that building has brought in-kind services, or it would have, $11,225. And that looks the New Milford Chamber, Sullivan Farm, New Milford Cadets, Public School, just various entities, they just use it. So those are some of the in-kind services we provide.
Those are opportunities that the town would have to pay for, but we use our own services, and we use the max because of the way we've recalibrated that. So you can see not only is it showing a positive revenue, but it's also enhanced by the fact that we're doing in-kind services together.
Correct. The personnel, that's primarily for our chef that does our teen and youth cooking classes, as well as our students who work through that program. So that's what the personnel is at the max. Contractual services are fees for police officers for large events, dances, material supplies, that just includes cleaning, charter communications, linen services for rentals, as well as air gas for the soda machine. And then the self-sustaining is money used to purchase products to make that revenue. That includes $2,100 for Coke, and another $2,400 for food, roughly. So we purchase that to then make the revenue. Any questions? Lastly is our biggest program is the childcare. And so I believe it's like 93% of the budget is personnel for this. And that's a lot of it is our part-time minimum wage employees that goes up. And we always have to make sure we take into consideration minimum wage increases. It's roughly been going up that 60, 70 cents a year. And so we do anticipate, and we always do budget that. The governor has been doing that for the last 3 years now.
And
so
Jason, for some of the new members, could you kind of explain a little bit about the before and after or latchkey program, where it's housed?
Yep.
And kind of the organizational breakdown so they can get a sense of the organization?
So as I mentioned before, we're located in 4 schools, the 2 elementary schools, intermediate, and Schaghticoke Middle School. The 3 first schools, so the 2 elementary and intermediate, that is a before and after school program. The Schaghticoke program is only an after school program. So how it looks like is kids come to us in the morning, they're in our care, we release them to school, they go learn, have a really good day, and they come back to us, and they can stay in our care up until 6:30 at night. That runs the entire school year, and we take usually a week off to get ready for summer, and then vice versa. When summer ends, we take a week off to get into childcare. That's why we do have that extreme length of our summer care camp. It's 9 weeks. And so the before and after school care, though, is in those 4 schools. And we have 4 site supervisors. So in the budget, the staffing is broken down there, but we have 4 site supervisors that run each site. and then with a mixed bag of teenagers, college students who are working under them for that childcare. And with that, we looked how we can even service younger students. So we started an enrichment PK club at John Pettibone, and that involves 3 and 4 year olds utilizing 2 of our site supervisors as well. And like I said, the child care program, once we're done, depending on where snow days align, end of school, you know, we go right into the summer camp, usually that following week. And it's a long camp. It's 11 half hours a day. It's travel based, so the kids go on a field trip every other day. There's 2 groups, older and younger students. And the mayor and I really worked on taking into consideration the environment. And so I worked with my team, specifically Brian Hembrick, who's the child care program director. We did not increase rates. We did not increase rates for the summer, nor did we increase rates for the the upcoming school year program. And we were really able to do so by squeezing in an extra kid, both AM, PM, and then afternoon, and then looking at a cost reduction of letting go 1 part-time staff. So, but that was to avoid raising rates for our families.
Outstanding work.
So how this works is you know, the program itself is meant to bring in all that revenue because we need to cover all those expenses. And it's that cost recovery self-sustaining model.
Katie?
Just
And
a
then
quick
Rolando?
question, Jason. The PK club
Yeah.
for 2027, you don't have any thing for it. It was $1,000 last year.
For materials and supplies, I spoke with the 2 teachers and
Oh,
they were all
set?
yeah, they were all set.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So I was able, there was like some incremental savings, you know, things like
Oh.
that.
Jason, since Katie brought it up, another great thing you guys provided as we were kind of unpeeling the onion and talking to parents, as you do all the time, there was a need for kind of a hybrid of PK club. If you could talk to the council and those in the audience and watching, what is the PK club and what's the role in that?
We had heard from parents and looking to not compete with obviously our friends in the private sector, of there just was a growing need for additional childcare throughout the day. And so we looked internally how we could do that, utilizing staff and building it into the self-sustaining model. So we were able to use some ARPA dollars, refurbish a John Pettibone room and get it ready for 3 and 4 year olds. And that's a twice a day or twice a week program, 12 to 2. We're still looking on how we can grow and sustain it even more, but we have about 10 to 12 students that participate in that, and it covers itself. So it was a way we could expand and service 12 more students, essentially, Mayor.
Awesome.
It's a great program.
Yeah.
You'll need, as soon as you can expand it, you know you'll have the people there.
That's the one thing we're looking at is the expansion of hours would obviously bring in way more enrollment on our end, which is something we're
It's a
looking
good
at.
program.
Any questions, Diane?
I have a kudos comment
Oh,
to
thank you.
dovetail on your thinking outside the box. So back in the fall, someone from your group contacted the New Milford Garden Club
Yes.
and said that the plantings, the bushes around the perimeter of the
Max.
of the max were just completely overgrown and going into the roadway.
Mm-hmm.
And could the garden club please come and help take care of that? And we thought about it, and we decided that to ask you if we could include the children, and we could teach them, the difference between a good plant and a weed, and how to weed it out, and how to use the rake, and how to use
Diane, I
the
should go to
clippers
that.
properly. Excuse me?
I should go to that.
Good idea. Lots of people should.
And so it was great. We spent a whole day Saturday
yeah.
with all of these kids. They were thrilled. They were really happy that they were doing something productive, and they were learning. And it was just a great thing to do. So kudos for thinking about that.
Yeah, and the students that represented us, they were from all parts of the agency. There was students going through diversion. There were students in our student advisory board. There was students, you wouldn't know who was who, but they wanted to do it. So that's what we like to do too, is bring different student populations together.
Yeah, it was
normally
great.
wouldn't.
And some of the adult garden club members brought their children.
Yeah.
And they all worked together like a real team.
It was, well, I'm very thankful too for it. It definitely needed that haircut.
It did.
It was, yeah.
Any other? Mary Jane?
Thank you. I appreciate that. And then again, I would be remiss if I don't thank my staff. They are, I cannot say it enough. They're amazing. Thank you.
Imagination and skills. It's just, we're very lucky.
Thank you.
I second that.
Thank you, Katie.
Known you for quite some time. You've done fantastic things. So, I mean, and your team, of course, Brian and the other people that are sitting out here. So
Thank you.
kudos is for you.
And thank you for, again, town council support, board of finance support, mayor, your support, obviously. Can't do it without you guys.
Any other questions or comments for Jason? All right. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you to the staff. Thank you very much.
Library budget.
Library, Kathy.
Page 176.
And you also see that was presented to you as well is the book has some numbers, and then Kathy provided more of a breakdown. You'll see in the handout that was given to you. So there's more breakouts as well. Yes. And as Kathy's getting prepared, kind of a overview and background, Kathy, big thank you to you. As Katie and I sat on the construction committee for the library, we did that through COVID, which was a challenge in itself. The former director had left, and then you had to come in with the tall task of really bringing back something that was closed for a couple of years due to COVID. And you know, the challenge that we talked about is creating additional programming, restaffing, and really to see the life, the resiliency that's brought back into that library, which is a true gem here in the town. It's a destination point. Can't thank you and the staff enough. So thank you.
Thank you. I want to say good evening. My name is Kathy Riley. I'm the library director. Thank you for letting me present the budget. I just wanted to, it's for the fiscal year 26-27. I just wanted to illustrate, going back to what the mayor said, these graphs show basically 3 years of numbers. And the blue is the most recent from the last fiscal year. So you can see these are typical areas that you would measure to see how the library's doing. So program attendance, reference questions answered, how many library cards the community has, how many computers are being used, what is the total circulation, and then it's broken down between electronic and physical items. And I always think you should think about the library as, yes, we have the physical building, but we also have the digital side of it, which is you can enter it anytime in the middle of the night. You can access that material. So that's our digital electronic items that are circulated. So just looking at it real quick, the program attendance was 11,563 last year, which shows a 30% increase from the year prior. So, and then as far as circulation goes, just from the year prior, it's up to 171,000 total, including digital and physical, but it is also a 30% increase. If you look at it, roughly 21% of our circulation is digital. It's also more of our expense, but it is the digital side of it. So, and then also our library visits, who we're seeing coming into the library was up to 93,000, and then there was 11% increase from last year. So every year we hope to see increases. So that gives you a little bit of an idea. We're open 52 hours a week. We're open 3 evenings a week. We're open on Saturdays. We try to keep those hours for people who have varied schedules so they can actually access the library to keep the access open. And then looking at the services, we were lucky enough to have ARPA grant funding through the town council. So we have quite a bit of equipment, large format printer, 3D printer, laminator, we have little robotics. a lot of different supplies that were purchased through the ARPA grant, which are being incorporated into programs. So we're seeing increased demand with that. We see digital literacy programs. So when I talk about digital literacy, it could be someone coming in to learn about the computer or to use their email, but it could be us going out to, we go to a couple senior apartment complexes to help seniors as well. So it's off-site, on-site, and it really covers a lot of, I guess we're in a world with a lot of different technology and a lot of changes with AI and how we're using things. So it encompasses that. So that's our, we're here to support the community through these changes. And anyone at any level could come in and ask for help. We have children and teen summer reading. We strive really hard to provide the educational opportunities for students to, when they're not in school, to experience learning and growing. So we do that. Language learning is another area. We have people, different patrons coming in learning. They could learn different languages. They're meeting together. If anyone's been to our mezzanine area, I kind of consider it the learning space, because you'll see different groups in there getting together and learning different strategy. They could be doing, sometimes I see calculus, sometimes I see language, you see all sorts of things, anatomy. And then our meeting and study room use, where our community is using our meeting and study rooms more and more, so we're seeing that. We introduced some theme days. The last one was an Inventor's Day, so it's a fun activity for families to get together and learn about a specific topic. We always pushing literacy for all ages, but our winter reading program is a big one that we just went through, and it was focused on the 250th anniversary. Mobile printing, we see more and more people coming in with their device needing to print, so we're seeing that grow. And then we're seeing digital audiobook use grow. We cannot keep up with it, the demand with that. And then Library of Things is part of the sustainable, and I think I've talked about that at other presentations. It's not books, it's different objects that you would use in your home, but it's so people don't have to buy something and then not use it. If they think they need a ukulele, they want to see if they want to learn it, they get to try it. So that's been a growing area as well. So in regards to our budget,
Kathy, before we get into the actual numbers, I think for those that are new on the council and those that may be viewing for the first time, the library is really a community gathering place, not only just for books, but other things, as you had mentioned before. And it's generational. I know I've used the library. My daughters use the library, right? My grandson now uses the library. Sue Ford does such a fabulous job with the story times. I know all my kids have gone through all that, so it's pretty amazing. But also another thing is our community becomes more diverse. I know you guys have been kind of at the forefront now with making sure that we have books in different languages. If you could talk a little bit more about that so the public can know.
We have areas of the collection that are multi-language. We have, especially in the children's room, but we have them in all. We also have English learning books, language collection. We have also an online database. It's called Transparent Language, and you can learn any language that you want. Speaking of Sue Ford, she's been involved in a committee with Hoopla, which is one of our digital, but they're working on story times, bilingual story times. So for Dia Day, she will be presenting like a bilingual story time using the Hoopla services. So they're trying, it's a great way. Sometimes you don't always have staff that are as truly bilingual. So it actually is a tool that we can use to help with that. So
Kathy, the Hoopla does the language?
No, Transparent Language does, but Hoopla actually is our digital. It has books, audiobooks, but there are some in multiple languages.
That's
so
great.
you can access through there as well.
That's great.
So that's one area. If you come into the library, you'll see all ages. You'll see families with strollers. You'll see we have a lot of seniors that will come in and go to the reading room because it's a quiet space. You'll see people playing chess. People are using it as a community space. They're coming together and meeting and doing very different things. It
And again,
appeals to.
Kathy, similar to Jason, right? So when you and I meet, we meet weekly, we talked about different things. How can we bring more people, goal set, into the space, right? Because it really is community. And what I love about you and your staff is you try things, try new things. Like, for instance, chess tournament, right?
Right.
Look how successful that is. You guys brought in the community engagement, where you had over 500 people that come in. Stuff that never really happened, and all these new things that you're coming in for community-centric things, programs, all things that the library didn't do to the extent that it does now. And you can see that by the growth that you have. So big kudos to you and to the department and the workers for that.
Thank you. So speaking to the budget, we were able to look at the budget, and the request is just less than 1% increase overall. Materials and supplies, we were able to cut back on some areas, although we do face increases in prices. When we talk about contractual maintenance and utilities, electricity was one of the larger ones. But on the other side of it, one of them is our internet service, and we were able through E-rate grants to get discounts. So we are one of many places where you can access Wi-Fi. So we do have quite a few community members accessing the Wi-Fi and using the workspace there. So that's part of our contractual maintenance area. Automation is really what you think about is when you use the library catalog, the software that you use to register for programs. That's what we'll see, and that we were able to keep that pretty much level by increasing some areas and decreasing other areas. Other is a large area, but it includes programming, which is a large area, and also just necessary, other necessary like accounting, and I can go into it in a little bit more detail, but we were able to actually decrease that by looking at some cost savings. Print and non-print, again, we looked at what the community was asking for, and we saw some decreases in some areas, so we lowered that part of the budget, and then we increased the areas that we felt we needed. So we were able to decrease this area of the budget. And we also, 2 years ago, many libraries are moving towards no late fees. You still get billed for your book if you don't return it, but we were trying to increase accessibility. So we weren't sure how it would affect our revenue. So it didn't affect our revenue as much as we thought it would. And we do see, because we see more people coming in to copy and do mobile printing, that we were able to increase that. So we anticipate more revenue next year. So we were able to keep that, steady. And then as far as personnel goes, we were able to keep our hours steady, but we did face some minimum wage increases and also a 2.5% increase that was cost of living through the town. We have more, now that we have more history, we kind of know how we're using substitutes and how much sick time buyback we experience, so we were able to make some savings there. And so overall, we were able to get the budget, so we were only asking for an increase less than 1%. And just, again, we saw salary adjustments, mandatory minimum wage, and service and product price increases, but we were able to prioritize. We are also seeking grants. We plan to seek more, collaborating, and also sustainable practices. I'm part of a sustainability committee, so we're looking at the library with cost savings and being environmentally responsible, and in that way we can cut some costs as well. And then when you look at the benefits for a community, you have education, workforce support. I didn't mention we have a lot of databases. One is Tech Talk, where you can learn different technology. It would benefit anyone. We have the language. We also have a business relevant one. It's called A to Z database if you're looking for mailing lists or for small business. So that's the digital access and the technology training. Community engagement and socialization. We're seeing more and more people coming in. We're seeing more people interested in our programs. Cost-effective recreation and entertainment. Although there is a cost to the public library, if you are just walking, you can just walk in there and not have to spend money directly in the library. a sense of well-being. You can go into a nice place, a quiet place. We find people come there to focus and study. It builds stronger communities because people are getting out and they're actually speaking to each other and getting to know each other through these programs. And it allows for information equity, so people are able to gain, have access to information. And also they have staff that can help them find the information. So, and then literacy across the lifespan is our goal. So,
Great.
so thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'd like to say that you have done a fantastic job, and you also have reconnoitered a little bit since we opened, when you came along, to use the spaces to the best advantage, really. But the people that work there with you are fantastic, and I think that you are a great leader to that. But really, they all, I mean, not just Sue Ford, who we all know is the best there is in that children's department, but all the others. And the Community Engagement Day, it's just, was inspired. We needed it, should have done it, and you did it. So I'm very happy about this.
Thank you.
Kathy, you mentioned Hoopla. Is that the only digital resource, or do you own some of the digital resources yourself?
That is, right now, that's where you can get audiobooks and books. But on Hoopla, there's two sides to it. There's an instant where you can automatically down books, and that's kind of Hoopla's database, and they choose the books. And then we have what we call flex titles on Hoopla, and that's what the New Milford Library purchased. We purchased licensing for those books. So a lot of times you'll see some of the bestsellers, most popular books would be on Flex. Those are licensing that the New Milford Public Library purchased directly, and sometimes you'll have to be on hold for those. Whereas the instant, 100 people could take out that book at the same time. On the Flex side of it, it's one or two books, and you may see some holds with that. And there is demand on Hoopla.
Yeah. Is there a limit to how many times the digital book can be lent out?
Yeah, depending on the licensing. But as far as patrons go, they can get six on the instant side, and then Flex they can get as many as they want because that's part of our collection. Okay. But occasionally, the demand is higher than the daily budget. So.
And I'm assuming the cost of digital over time is more than the individual book?
It is.
An old-fashioned print book?
Yes, it is. So, and there's legislation. They're trying to work on the prices. But if we opened up the digital budget, I'm sure we'd see increases. But the cost is almost 3 times what you would buy in a physical book. So that hasn't changed,
so
unfortunately.
If you increase the percentage of digital, the community is using more digital, and that trend keeps going up, there's going to be significant expense to the library going forward?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kathy.
Unless something changes.
Right.
And Kathy, just lastly, for those here and those watching, when you say library of things, what is that?
So we have at least 60 items. It can consist of Wi-Fi hotspots if you need to access the internet, but from home, you're going on a trip, you can use the Wi-Fi hotspots. We have a telescope, we have screens, we have cameras. It could be just puzzles and games. There's different electronic to measure your. I'm not an electrician, but you can measure certain things, check your voltage. Just a lot of different types of tools. We try to keep items that we think people would use and need, but they only need it once. I know we have like a plug. If you go to Europe, it would help you plug in your devices. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones. Right now, we're in the process of working on a where you can just go to our website and you'll be able to reserve the items. It hasn't gone live yet. I mean, if you go in our catalog, you'll see, but you'll be able to reserve what you need, when you need it, and you'll be able to see everything in nice big pictures, all the different items.
Kathy, I wanted to go and for the library things and get a drill. How much would that cost?
Nothing.
No,
just a library
I know.
card.
I was just
Yeah.
letting the public know. That's
You have a
the
library
service.
card,
like
At the library, exactly.
You
It's
have a
service you
card?
go to I have a library
All
card.
right, just
Absolutely.
checking. Otherwise, we get you over there right away tomorrow.
Nice. Any other questions for Kathy?
Not a
Diane?
question, just a comment. I love how you support the local community of writers. You put on the evening of local writers who talk to people who came in about what their.
I have to give Amy Birkin credit for
Oh,
that. 'Cause
okay, she did a
yeah.
great job.
Yes, yeah.
So they talked about, you know, what they wrote and a little bit of background, and I purchased a whole lot of their books and got.
We actually have a
them
special
signed.
shelf.
Yep.
It was great. And then now you're doing artists and photographers. They can showcase their work.
Yes,
at
we've
the
had ongoing
library.
art displays with local artists.
Wonderful.
The most recent one is actually the community because there was a photo contest and they took pictures of the fall. And we've had several winners and we're just about to change. About every 8 weeks it changes. So if you go to the art space, you'll see some beautiful artwork. And I think a lot of patrons come in and they enjoy the change.
Definitely. So much fun. Thank you.
Yeah.
And lastly, the view from the second floor, you'll wish it was your house, right? Looks over, no matter what time of day or what the weather is, where those windows are, that was one of the best things that happened to the library.
We're very lucky to have a beautiful space.
Yeah, I'd like to move in there and live on the floor. So nice.
Any other questions or comments for Kathy? Kathy, thank you.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you to the staff. Next
job.
is Jeff. Building.
Okay, Jeff, 131, I believe. If I got that right. Wrong glasses.
And while Jeff is getting prepared with his presentation,
Yeah.
just kind of a quick overview for those new on the Council and Board of Finance. Jeff's staff consists of 3 people to do all the permits, to do all the inspections, 3 people. So huge kudos to you, Jeff. I know when you came on, I love the fact that you're very customer service oriented, which is amazing, and you'll see that when you see the revenues versus expenditures. So Jeff, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Town Council, Board of Finance. Again, my name's Jeff Rondini. I'm the building official, and on behalf of myself, the assistant building official, Sean Murphy, and the office technician, Donna Murphy, we're excited. I'm excited to be here to present the 2026-27 budget. I'll make reference to last year's fiscal year to compare to this. We start off the first 7 months. We really are strong and healthy with the numbers coming in, as you can see up there. To date, last year, from July 1 to February, construction values, we brought in approximately $33 million worth of construction costs. And what does that mean? So if somebody builds a house for $800,000, that's in there. Somebody does a remodel for $500,000, that's in there, okay? So the first 7 months of the last fiscal year, that's what we brought in, okay? The whole last year of the fiscal year, from July to June, we brought in about $66 million worth of construction costs, which is pretty good, right? We thought yeah. Well, and at the time, we really thought, wow. Now, current fiscal year, from July 1 to, we kind of cut it off at February the 3rd. We're at $50 million worth of construction costs, okay? So we're on pace, and that's a difference of a positive almost $17 million from where we were last year. So that's really good, okay? And I mean, and everyone sees it in town. We know there's a lot going on, so the numbers are supporting that. Let's see. Permits issued last fiscal year from July to February. Let's see here. It was 1,800, and the same time this year we're up to almost 2,000. Okay. So that's a difference. That's an increase of 8.9% of permits coming in.
As of now, you're up to 2,000?
Yep. What does that say? Yes. Currently, we're up almost 1,985 permits in a 7-month period. Okay, so that's a difference. That's an additional 180 permits issued in the first 7 months. Okay. All of last year, we did almost 3,000 permits last fiscal year. Let's see here. Inspections. So for the first 7 months of last year, we performed 1,507 inspections. The whole last year, 2,379. Okay, to date, for the first 7 months of this fiscal year, we're at just over 1,600 inspections. All right, that's a positive 130 inspections. And again, as the mayor indicated, we got 3 people in the office. And we all work extremely well together, and that's why we are able to accomplish a lot that's going on in the department. Okay, and the numbers are consistent, so it's about 8.9% increase of inspections performed. Okay. Let's see, revenue. Okay, last fiscal year from July to February, we brought in about $401,000 in permit fees. Okay, all of last year we brought in $686,000 in permit fees. To date, for the first 7 months of this fiscal year, we're at $641,000 in permit fees. All right, and that's an additional $239,000 for the first 7 months. Okay, that kind of gives you an idea how.
Oh, sorry, I listened to you. What page is
You got
it?
it.
Just want to make sure everybody sees.
Yeah,
the
it's
Sure.
revenues.
24.
Page 24 for everybody.
Is the,
And Jeff, if you don't mind, if we could just stop here for just 1 second.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So if you're sitting here on page 24, and then those that are watching at home, by the way, at home, you can go to the town website, www.newmilford.org, go down to community, left-hand side, you'll see budgets, click budgets, and voila, you'll see the same thing that we see. Not only on the town side, but you also get to see the Board of Education's budget as well. And these slides, it may take a day or so, they're actually going to be up on there as well.
Right.
The reason why I bring that up is you're going to say to yourself, okay, building and permit and development fees. So in the year 2026, we're at 575, 2027, we're 575. So you're going to sit here and say to myself, well, Pete,
What's he
why
been doing?
aren't you going up on that? Why aren't you going up higher on revenues? Because you see that it's higher there. For those that don't know, real estate is kind of a fickle business. It depends on interest rates. If interest rates go up, guess what happens with building and economic development? It'll trend down a little bit. So we would rather be more conservative in the number. So the good news is if it goes higher, right, that's going to help you with a surplus, right? This is one of the things when people scream about a surplus. It could be because we over exceed a revenue number. What we don't want to happen is if I come back to you guys on town council and I come back to Walter and Board of Finance and be like, guys, we said that we would put in 675. I only got 600, so we're going to be $75,000 light on this line. I know first thing Walter's going to say to me is like, Pete, why did you forecast so high? I know Walter would say that to me, probably some other people too. So that's why we kind of keep the revenues like they are, being a little conservative. It's still a plus for us. Good news is you can still see the vitality of New Milford. People want to invest here, whether they purchase homes and renovate them, which is great for our economy here. I got our builders that are here in New Milford. They can use them, our infrastructure.
The town is booming.
Absolutely.
The town is booming.
So that's great. But also just wanted you to know when you're looking at the revenue, why did we do what we did? And that's the reason. Sorry, Jeff.
No, please. And so just to focus on this for a second, because I think it's pretty fantastic that all of last year we did $686,000 in permit fees. We still have about 5 months to go, and we are plus $240,000. We're at $640,000 in permits. Let's say $641,000. I mean, and that's, I thought last year was pretty amazing. This is outstanding. So In this, a lot of people are taking interest in the town. And why wouldn't they? I mean, it's a beautiful town, and they want a piece of the action as well.
Best town in the USA.
It's the best. It's the best town in the USA. So, and the numbers are definitely supporting that. So, again, with such a tremendous staff in the building department, we got 3 people in there. We got a lot going on. We do we take in applications. We do plan reviews, and the plan reviews are very extensive. We include the applicant a lot in the plan review, whether it's the homeowner, whether it's the architect, or the contractor. We really firmly believe that our system works where if we include them on an educational basis, pick out things that they might encounter along the way, it really does our job for us when we get out there and inspect. We already discussed it. They already took care of it. It's almost like self-inspecting. They become a better builder, a better product. So I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of Donna and Sean for all the hard work that they're doing. Now the expenses, let's see here. Let's see. These are the salaries broken down. Building officials.
132.
I'll give everyone a minute. We all set?
132 for everyone?
We have 131 and 132.
We good? Yeah, okay, so overall, the personnel budget is it's about 241,000, broken down, building official, assistant building official, and the building technician, which is Donna. Overtime, we have in there for $200. The material and supplies is $3,000. $1,000 of that goes to a subscription that we have online for the codes, the Connecticut State Building Codes that we can take out into the field. And that is extremely helpful for us. We open up our tablet or phone or whatever, and we can show right there in real time whatever inspection that we're doing, if we had to fail somebody, or if they have a question on. I was at one today where someone had a question about the fireplace and the harsh surround and how much clearance can they have. I pulled it right up on the tablet, showed him the code, and copied it, sent it to him his phone, and it was just like within minutes. So that's $1,000 subscription a year. So it leaves us with $2,000 for your regular office supplies. So last year, our request was about 240,000. This year, it's 244, and the difference is 2%. It's $4,766.40, and that difference is the contractual union, the salaries that are going up. So,
Anybody have any questions for Jeff?
Hey, Jeff, I do.
hey,
Okay, Rolando?
With all the building going on, do you expect in the future not to be able to handle? You know, you mentioned you have a great staff in Donna and Sean, but do you expect in the future maybe you need some more help, or you think you'll be able to handle it still?
you know, it's an interesting question, and did everyone hear that? He's asking if we need future help. So, I've been doing this a long time. I own a construction company, and every town that I go to either apply for a permit or here, every town is always looking for an electrical inspector. They're hard to come by, and they're needed. Electrical work is it could be very complex. So when you come across somebody who wants to do part-time, or if there's a position, if given the option, I would want an electrical inspector.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So, because especially with these these commercial buildings that are going up, the electrical work and the new code is coming out in October. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of requirements. It's complex. So but you know what? I say that. You ask every building department in every town, they would say the same thing. The value of an electrical inspector. So,
thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for Jeff?
Just thank you.
All right,
for me.
absolutely.
No, thank you.
You've been doing a great
Oh,
job.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
I would just like to say thank you so much for all of your hard work. Having worked with inspectors both in New Milford and in other towns on various projects, some inspectors, they are very lax, and New Milfords have always been very professional, very on the money. So thank you guys again very much for all of your hard work.
Again, and you know, it takes a team to believe in the same core values that lead to a purpose, that lead to the mission. And that's what we have in there. And if we didn't, we wouldn't have the results that we have. And that's why we're able to do all this, because we all believe in the same philosophy and the same goals. And I'm with you. I apply in other departments in other towns, and they come out, you either fail or they don't get into educating and all that. And so we don't believe in that. We believe in, you know, everyone benefiting from the code. As boring as it can be, we can try to make it as exciting as possible.
Well, some might consider it boring, but it's essential, and you guys are very thorough. So
I appreciate
again,
that. Thank you very much for recognizing that. Thank you very much,
Thank you,
everyone.
Jeff. Thank you.
Yes, sir, yes.
Do you foresee at all any of the growth slowing down?
No.
Or plateauing?
Nope,
or
I do not.
Any of the building like that?
No, I do not. Listen, I'm 54 years old. I've lived in this town for 53 of those 54 years. I've been through a lot of government changes. And when you're a kid and you're a teenager, you don't really pay attention to that stuff. But as you get older and you invest in the town, you start to take interest. There's a reason why this town is booming. And it's been booming over the last 7, 8, 9 years. And we have such a great government. People want the buzz out there, they want to experience what we have to offer. And why not? We have lakes, we have reservoirs, we have parks, we have all the great things. I do not see anything dying down anytime soon. I will tell you that I've been through 2008 when everything crashed and everyone lost their job. That was a scary time. Things were boarded up. It was very depressing. COVID, everything was shut down. Nobody was on the road. Very depressing. So I understand people are concerned about the growth and the traffic, but when you go through periods when the town is dying for some reason, you appreciate what we have now. I mean, it was bad. So the forecast, no, nothing's slowing down. Nothing. We have a lot of permit applications coming in for new construction, a lot of additions, a lot of alterations. There's no sign of it slowing down whatsoever. Okay?
Any other questions for Jeff?
Better get home and go to bed, get up tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff.
Next, we have Ivana.
Well, we
Do we have
page
Ivana?
171 is part of it. Do you
Okay.
have revenue, Ivana?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, before, I'm just,
Yeah.
okay.
That's true too.
And we're what, 171?
Yes. Yep. 17.
171.
You got it, Walter.
And then 172 is the breakout. So I'll wait for Ivana to get ready. Okay, so Ivana, before you start your speech, I'd like to talk a little bit, myself, to the Town Council and to the Board of Finance. You will see here in the personnel line an increase, a pretty substantial increase, which was mentioned today during public comment. So first and foremost, I want to thank Attorney Liguori and Gretchen for coming here, because they have a passion. They are volunteers, and they care. They care about the community, and they care about the senior center. So do I. So a couple things to start with the letter that all of you have received. Some of the things I'd like to maybe go into a little more detail. So first, starting off, there will be no people that will be moving from the senior center to social services. They'll still be there, number one. Number two, Ms. Liguori talked a little bit about state statute. In the state statute, it talks about that the municipal agents need to be in a senior center. They'll still be there. Now, charter. So let's go to charter, chapter 16, chapter 105, duties. Okay, the duties of the commission. By this article shall study continuously the conditions and needs of elderly persons in the community in relation to housing, economic, employment, health, recreational, transportation, and other necessary matters. It shall analyze the services of the aged provided by the community, both by public and private agencies, and shall take any and all steps necessary to improve the living conditions for the aged. That is a great charge and something we should all strive for, not only as a commission, but as a community at large. As I've always said, the community can only tell the community by how it helps those most in need. That tells you the true sense of our community. Now, with that being said, I'd also like you, I'm going to read from you the Charter, Chapter 5, the Mayor, duties. The mayor shall be the chief executive officer directly responsible for the administration of all departments, all agencies, and persons or boards and employees of the town, and shall supervise and direct the same unless otherwise provided by this charter. So, what that basically means, and I also asked our personnel director before I wanted to produce this move, is do I have the availability to do so? And I do. Now, by saying that, why would I do that? Why would we move the municipal agents underneath Ivana and social services? So first, little background. I've been having huddles with the senior center for almost 2 years now, maybe a little over 2 years, meeting every 2 weeks. And we talk about, as we do with Kathy and every department head, I meet with them, most of them every week. Some I meet every other week. And we talk about goals. We talk about aspirations, stretch goals. What are we going to do to benefit our constituency? I say my boss is the almost 29,000 residents that live in this town. As you've heard some tonight, and you'll hear from Ivana tonight, I challenge our department heads to think outside of the box. What can we do to create excellence? That's our standard here, is excellence. You may not be able to attain excellence, but striving to get there is how we do it. So one of the things we did look at, Jasmine, who you'll hear when she comes here to present for the aging, the senior center, I said a stretch goal, as I presented to Kathy, I said I'd like to see attendance 25% lift. I'd like 25% more of our population of seniors to use a senior center. So I said, what are some of the things we can do? So we started bantering about how some of the things we could do. Extra programs, go outside of the senior center, which is what we've done with some additional programming, bringing more people in, talking about more educational things, whether it be reverse mortgages, whether it be how to plan your tax strategies, Medicare, Medicaid benefits. People like me, I'm going to be going into that. So, I'm going to need help. So how does all that work? And looking at those data points. Also, how do we get our seniors on our buses, right? Through great planning, we've been able to use grants to get almost a new fleet of senior buses to take our seniors from medical appointments to the food bank, to different areas, to events. I also saw firsthand the new complexities. Actually, in the letter that you guys received, you'll hear, or you'll see, and you'll hear from the senior center and also from Ivana. She'll talk tonight a little bit more. I don't want to talk for her. The new complexities as our community ages and gets older. There's new complexities. There's new things that affect our seniors' experience, not only in life experience. Get better. What can we do? First thing I thought is we've got to make sure that we have that tool in our toolkit to help for those things. So one thing, just so everybody knows, back in the day when we had our municipal agents, let's start with Lorraine Kelly. Lorraine Kelly was a licensed critical social worker, and she was a municipal agent. Palmara I'm mispronouncing her name. Myra, right?
Yeah.
Okay. She had a master's degree in marriage and family therapy. Also had a bachelor's degree in human development and family services. Amanda Caldwell, bachelor's in sociology. Leo, if you're watching, hi. He had an MBA in healthcare management, bachelor's in psychology. Marissa, who is here, Marissa, if you're watching, she had a master's in human services. currently and doing a great. RJ, Rebecca, bachelor's in logistics, psychology, cultural deaf studies. And they are learning, growing, right, in the profession. And I believe Jasmine has a degree, I'll have to get that for you.
Allied health.
In allied
Masters
health.
of allied health.
Okay. So just real quick, and then I'm going to jump back, so don't want to take up all of your time. But Ivana, what is your degrees?
Well, I'm a licensed master of social work, BSW, MSW, then an LMSW. My two social workers right here, Maria is an LMSW and Alyssa is an LCSW.
So as you can see, as we're going to be working at, I'm going to talk a little bit more about how we've kind of harmoniously upped our game level. And I'll give you another, for instance. We set up what's called a community resource team. And in that community resource team, we have social services. We have the senior center. Okay? We also have the police department. Jake leads the way as he's kind of the tip of the spear on certain things, whether it is for homelessness, whether it is for addiction services, right? We also have Jason and the youth agency that's there as well. We also brought in New Vance Health. We also have our health department. And what do we do there? We talk about synergies because a lot of these same families and people, right, use multiple services across multiple lanes. And I've seen firsthand the real need. Critically, one thing that we have found is if you can address the need right away, the ability to help or ability to make that change is at a 10 factor of positive, of success, versus if you make it wait, or if you have to vacillate on it for whatever reason. So we've seen that by partnering. We also bring in different third parties that work with us for success. So to me, when I thought about this, I said, what a great opportunity. Not a down thing. What a wonderful opportunity it would be to harmoniously, right, have the municipal agents now work underneath someone that has already had super experience in New Milford as the director of social services. Before that, Ivana, what were you before that?
My particular title was counselor / advocate and program and food bank manager. It was a dual role, and then it's social worker and program and food bank manager. That position only separated into two post-COVID. And
what I'm very excited about was that I asked Ivana to take the lead when Peg retired. And Peg, if you're watching, you know, and doing an outstanding job, just like with Jasmine. I asked her to take the role as the director. Now you say, well, how is all of this going to work? How does all this work? If this is fruition, what does it look like? I'll let Ivana get more into it. But basically for those seniors, and if those of you guys are watching, there is no change for you. They're still going to be housed in the senior center. Their offices are still going to be upstairs. But here's a really good thing, guys. The really good thing. They're going to be able, right, to talk to somebody that already has done this multiple times. They'll be able to work in a more intimate way with the social services team to help provide it. That to me sounds like a huge win-win. I always say win-win-win, but I'm going to go win-win-win-win.
We're all for.
On top of that, as I've also talked to Jasmine about this as well, and I know she's apprehensive about it, but the services will still be the same. If there's any issue with services, that's where Ivana comes in. And now you say, well, okay, if you're going to do that, what do you envision the senior center and Jasmine and the other part of the team. Great news. When we were doing our huddles, we were talking about making this senior center almost a senior center community center. Lots more programs. You know they provide lunch there? Good lunch, by the way.
Yeah, I do too.
Good lunch, by the way. All sorts of programs, inside and outside the walls. Did you know downstairs, because Loaves and Fishes now doing a fabulous job in their space, now there's a whole new downstairs space. I see Deb way back there, and she is the programs director for the senior center. So now we have a whole canvas downstairs where we can do additional programs, additional things for our seniors. We want to make them think that the senior center is a second home. Thinking outside of the box, ladies and gentlemen. Thinking outside of the box. You've heard it already. I've said this a few times. You've seen the successes already. Successes at the youth agency. Successes at the library. You heard the chief, successes there. Sometimes you got to be brave. Sometimes you got to say, let's go. Let's work together and make this thing the best that it can be. Let's give it a try. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, this is going to be a great opportunity for us to lead the way, right? To provide those resources for our seniors as we continue to age in our community and how we continue to have more complexities. You heard it, right? Katie, you heard
Absolutely.
it even from the ambulance,
Yep.
right? So this is a way we can address it. So I'm probably going to jump in and out, Ivana, but I want to let everybody know, all right? This decision had nothing to do with Ivana. I asked her, right? This was a decision that I made. So if anybody has angst about it, if anybody has concerns about it, please reach out to me. And you can do so either at the office, you can email me, you can talk to me after the meeting, any kind of meeting. But this is a great opportunity for our town to lead. For us to really show everybody how we think a little differently, but exponentially really bring additional great services to our town. And with that being said, Ivana, I'm sure there'll be some questions for that, but moving into your regular part of your budget, I can't thank you and I cannot thank your staff enough. Again, this is another department that when we went through COVID, right? They were there. Here's an example. Hey, Ivana, during COVID, did we not give people food?
Yes, sir.
You were there.
More than we ever did at that point.
But you were there.
Yeah.
Our departments didn't run away. Some departments in other towns, they just shut down. Oh, we shut down. Not us. We kept it going. And Ivana, what's the experience? How many, which you probably have up there, so you can just tell me to shut up, right?
Might. I don't know.
So, how many years have you been doing the fuel bank? How many years have you been doing the food bank, which is housed actually in your department? How many, and then like say this year, what's been the applications for that?
The food bank goes, the food bank is an institution of this town that's probably going on 40 years. And has had many manifestations over the years. Currently, the New Milford Food Bank is a full choice pantry, which is, and to be honest with you, an honor to run, because it's like a supermarket. We went from 40 years ago, you've got government cheese, a few cans of food. I came along 20 years ago. We were handing out pre-made bags to about 90 people. Here you go, here's some vegetables, here's some bread. Right now, people go in, thanks to Wanda and Ray, the volunteer that actually stayed awake to come. It is Thursday, guys, so we're tired. We are now, it is now a full-size pantry, and people can go in there. There's a refrigerator, there's a fridge, there's fresh vegetables. They shop. They shop for their choices, and we're able to provide them. People are leaving with 2 or 3 bags of food. And I will get into some of the other things we've been able to do, and the numbers. I will get into the numbers, and I'll just let you know that right now, currently, our numbers are exceeding what we did during COVID. So we're not in a pandemic. We're not in a crisis. We're post-crisis in terms of that kind of thing. However, I've done this long enough to know that when we hit the recession in 2010, 12, and the aftermath of that, I saw our numbers go up, and then they plateaued at a level we never went down from. And I've said this to the mayor almost every week. Since COVID, we've gone up. We wobble a little bit because the federal government threw so much money in. We always stayed up high here. Now we're up here. And I don't see us at this point, anytime soon, coming anything down to another plateau. So we are now in a step up. So whether we stay here in this area, we are still above where we've ever been before, serving more people. And I will give you the data in a little bit, absolutely.
And you know, Ivana, too, as you mentioned before, kind of the theme and the narrative, right, is looking at different ways to accomplish great things. So one of the things, if you could talk a little bit about, is how you thought outside of the box, different partnerships that actually come to the social services team,
Mm-hmm.
whether it be the United Way,
Mm-hmm.
right? Whether it be VITA.
Mm-hmm.
And for those who don't know what VITA is, could you kind of explain who VITA is and what they do?
VITA is the volunteer income tax preparers. So this is the Danbury VITA. They've always had a kind of a space within New Milford. They needed to change spaces, and so they're in our office actually every Wednesday and Friday for the next several months. And they house in one of our program rooms, and they've set up shop there. And it has been a wonderful collaboration, and they really do appreciate the space. It's very comforting and open, and they're able to bring in more providers, and that's the issue, is they needed more space. So they have more tax preparers in there to handle more
I'm
appointments.
Super proud too of. Does everybody know what Access Health is? So Access Health is for if you don't have insurance, you can provide it through Access Health. And I always went to Ivana, I go, you know, it'd be really great if New Milford could get Access Health to actually come here. So if somebody had a question or an issue when it came to insurance, they have people right here. So next thing I know, Ivana calls me up and says, hey, guess what? Guess who's coming to New Milford? So Access Health?
Access Health was actually just here today for their February meeting. They started last year, just before open enrollment time. They have set up shop here. They do appreciate and have acknowledged that New Milford has been a wonderful host for them and beneficial. So their mobile enrollment specialists have renewed their time with us, and so they are coming once a month right now because it's special enrollment time. It is not open enrollment. Back in January, they actually were here for, they had another event on top of that in the gymnasium of the John Pettibone, which was an enrollment fair, and that was highly successful. But they have 1 or 2 specialists that come at least once a month. They come on Thursdays and are able to help people with insurance, and they help people. DSS has grown so much that Access Health actually handles Husky A, B, and D applications, in addition to Marketplace. In addition to people who are working for Access Health, they also will have local brokers who've been trained in the Marketplace plans and the special additions, covered CT, dental care, and now, right now, I still have to learn a little bit more about this, but I believe there's going to be, I think Connecticut's trying to step up and help some people offset their premium costs with the lack of funding that's coming out of the federal government right now. So I was just on a chat today, but they're working, that's already started to go up on their website. So yeah, so they're here. And, you know, speaking to that, the one thing that's really important is wonderful as New Milford is, and it is extremely wonderful. We do have some shortcomings, and access to transportation is one of them. We are, we huddle ourselves between Danbury and Torrington. Danbury becomes a regional service for us. DSS is there.